What's up, nerds? Sorry for the different setup. I'm moving things around and just wanted to make a quick video to let you know that this podcast was recorded actually probably like before the Game Awards. What happened was I went on travel, a lot of stuff. It's just excuses at this point. Just excuses. I messed up. No, I didn't publish the podcast, but I want to get it out, so I'm putting it out today. What we're asking for is for you to give us your top one, two, three games in the comments below and let us know why. Give us a little paragraph and we'll read it on the show when Spencer and I get back together to do that for you. We'll also probably do a show on the Game Awards first, put that out so you can hear all of my comments about Sir Jeff Keighley and how we grovel at his presence. But thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I hope to make a new video before the end of the year to let you know what we have going on. Other than that, yeah, enjoy the show. Sorry again about standing up and stuff. Some people hate it, some people don't. Just let me know that. Let me know that too in the comments below. Talk about it. See you later. Spencer, before we get into the show, top of the show, I want to say the next show, which will not be next week because I'll be in LA at this event called the Game Awards, where the entire gaming industry comes together and awaits Jeff Keighley's sperm to rain on their faces as we look him in the eyes and thank him for saving the game industry. Huh?
So it happens in person?
Yeah.
It's a lot they cut from the broadcast because
they show you that one stupid kid that runs up and asks for Bill Clinton or whatever, but they don't show you what really happened.
It almost happened again at the last thing too. They're gonna have fucking snipers at the Game Awards this year.
That's scary. Maybe it's good that they didn't have any girls up there. Who knows what would happen? See, that's preemptive. They don't have women in the gaming industry for those reasons alone. I
just want to reiterate that I don't always agree with the things that they're saying.
Oh, I'm making fun of the PC gamer like voices or whatever. Did you see that?
What's that?
They put out a magazine with like the voices of the industry of the last like 20 years or something like that, and they had no women in their entire it was just a bunch of, and how is that to know? Like there's so much, like there's got to be one editor there that's just like, oh shit, that's a big oversight.
Yeah, they saw and they're like, surely that, come on.
So I could only assume that same editor is working with the Game Awards.
Whoa.
Just one guy.
Is that one guy?
Just that one guy. But so I'll be there next week awaiting whatever Jeff has in store for us. But before that, I wanted to say that I would love the listeners to give us their their favorite games of the year. Just a couple, mostly one. Just one game that stood out to you this year, a little bit why, and we'll read it on the next show, and we'll tell you how wrong or right you are.
Yeah, we won't make fun of you too bad.
Well, Spencer won't.
Did I do that?
And with that, we'll just do the theme song. Hey everybody, welcome to Unqualified Game Chat episode 94. I'm your host, Azara Lopez, and with me is the ever so lovely, ever so beautiful Spencer, the Legacy.
Hello everybody. It's been a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, It's
We're
just been busy.
Yeah, it's that time of year. You get busy
For
with work, busy with family, you're busy with holidays.
the strange thing about this busy period is that there's not a lot of games to review, but there's a lot of crap to wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta not no pun intended for the Christmas folks out there, but for those who listen to this podcast, I will say that I've been working on a little surprise for the website, a little
It's a
redesign. We're all getting malware.
If you click anything on the website, we have your credit card, we have your address, we have
social,
your IP address, we know your mom's
everything,
name, we got your
everything,
references.
everything. All your OnlyFans subscriptions.
And if you want those things back, there's a Patreon.
Mm.
And the $400 a month tier might give you those back.
Might relieve you of the release.
Randomly selected password back.
Yeah, at least we give you a choice, unlike the ESA when you got your your information doxed.
Whoops. That wasn't great.
So, if anyone wants to know why E3 is never happening again, take a look at their security. So, anyway, but yeah, I am working on a redesign for the website, and it's going swimmingly. Here's the problem. I originally coded the website to one, it's based off of a travel blog. Not my intention, but I was young. I was ambitious. I was learning on the fly with how to organize a video game website. I can make a website. I can make a stupid page or whatever for people, but this was like a intricate thing. I never made room for ad space. I never thought that would be even in the cards for something like Noisy Pixels. So now, with ads, they have AI just fucking fuck a web page and just the AI chooses where the AI chooses where they go and everything. Well, I'm designing this website to not be up to randomness. I tell the AI where to put the ads, so hopefully that improves the website. Because you know what, when I go to the website right now, I don't even want to be on it, so I don't blame other people for not wanting to be on it, because those ads are annoying. So doing something about it, I promise. That's all I gotta say about that. And that's the end of the episode. So thanks everybody for
this. We hope you enjoyed size unqualified.
It's a little bite size.
Unqualified game tea time.
Unqualified game corner for a quick chat with your friends, making sure that we're okay. Spencer, how are you doing? We have nothing to talk about. We didn't preface the episode with anything.
Yeah, what have I played lately? I've been playing Like a Dragon Gaiden. That's very fun.
Isn't it? It's only like 15 hours long.
Yeah, there's a lot of side content, but it all fits into like 15. Feels like a very nice balance of like, I don't know if I could do like a 30-hour Yakuza right now game. So a nice little 15-hour one. It's like, yes, I'm
down.
Delightful. There's enough to do. There's enough side stuff. There's enough detail that I'm like, you know what? This is completely sufficient. So I'm having a great time. It's very silly that Kiryu still looks identical, and he's like, I'm not Kiryu, I'm Joryu. And that's even the name is almost the same.
I feel like
very funny.
It's always jokes, you know. It's always like it's like serious though, because like from a narrative standpoint, it's really intense, and then from like a gameplay standpoint, it's just silly.
Do you have a sweater on?
Oh yeah, Cooper has a sweater on.
That's so cute. You walked through and I was like, oh.
I've been bullying him about it. He thinks he's cool, but I'm keeping him humble. Don't worry.
Yeah. The game, it's I'm having a really good time, and it does, even though it's very silly, it is completely, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, whatever, it can do any tone perfectly. So That's completely fine the way that they did it, and it's a lot of
Mm.
fun. And the Spider-Man shooting gauntlet is very silly. I love the gadgets; they're all very goofy, but they're a lot of fun to use.
Yeah, I'm not really liking the arena area. I just don't get me wrong. I know it's an action game, but I don't know why any Yakuza game, the combat is my least favorite part. It
Really,
become it becomes my least favorite part just because that's like the main stuff, but the fun that I have is doing everything else.
that's interesting. I love. I don't know. There's something so satisfying about those games. Wailing on, like, you feel so obscenely powerful. You just
You know what I think my
whack it.
problem is
Yeah.
that I played all
Play a lot of
the
shooting. That shit fun.
Kiwami ones. I played them like back to back when
That'd be fun.
7 came out, like when Like a Dragon came out, and by that point I was like, fuck yeah, it's turn based, it's a new combat system. But I was so over it by that
That's
point.
interesting.
Um, and I think it's just because I just invested too much into it. Especially 1 and 2 Kiwami, or Kiwami 0 and 1.
2, I love. Yeah, there's 0, 1. You're 0, Kiwami, Kiwami 2. Yeah.
Yeah. But I am by no means like the Yakuza master on the website. I think everyone fights over who's like the most well versed.
That's fun.
Because once those games come out, it's like, oh, I want to review it. I want to review it. Um, it's an interesting series. I met the director, and I guess he's kind of a diva.
Really?
But yeah, yeah, but he didn't come off that way to me. He was like, I was more curious to know like where like I didn't even get this question answered, but it was more along the lines of like where does it stop? Where does like the mini games stop when you can't be everything and still an action game, but they're pulling it off, and I doubt no other series can do that. You can't.
They're like every
Yeah,
game is immensely detailed. None of them feel like, oh, this is just a thing that you have to. Like my brother played the bowling in 0 for hours just because he loves bowling games and he was like
yeah,
figuring out mechanics and stuff. Same with the darts. Same with the pool. Same with
yeah.
everything. Like everything
The
is
dating.
as good. Yeah, everything is as good, if not better, than most simulator games of that.
Yeah,
Like
it's not half-assed.
yeah,
There's nothing just shoehorned in there. Yeah, it's a little shitty mini game. No, it's a mini game that you could play and get rewards in and get a high score.
all the arcade and Sega games are excellently emulated. All the
Yeah.
mini games are excellently designed. There's especially those with Gaiden, the content loop is very satisfying. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I can do this side mission, and then do this thing, and then do this. And
What
every time
arcade
I'm
games?
excited.
What arcade games are in Gaiden?
Sonic the Fighters, which fucking rocks.
Yeah, it's cool.
What else?
Is
There's a Dragon.
Virtual Fighter's not in there, right?
There's a I can't remember because there's a poster for Virtual Fighter in the arcade. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember if that was like on the machine, if it was on the wall, but something of Virtual Fighter. But yeah, even then, like each title has different games in the
Mm-hmm.
so like you could basically buy these games and they're like both a Sega collection and
Yeah.
Yakuza because like with this one you have the Master System, so you can play like Alex Kidd, Flicky, like a bunch of like Fantasy Zone, a bunch of emulated games. I don't know, such a unique series that I really love a lot. I started with 0 when it came out. I was like, Will was like, "Do y'all review this?" And I was like, "I have no idea what is it. I've heard of it." And he's like, I think he said it was like the next step of Shenmue kind of thing, which it
Yeah. It
is.
kind of is.
And I love Shenmue, so I was like, yeah. And then I got in right on that ground floor, and then every time Kiwami came
That's
over, Kiwami 2
that's
came
the
over.
perfect time to get in.
Yeah, so I was playing them as they were like at once a year around.
Yeah.
Like a Dragon game or a Yakuza game would drop in my lap. I'd play it. I'd be like, "Fucking, this rocked. This is one of the games of the year. This is incredible." And then went through all of them. and was just like, I think it's the perfect way to play that series is like one a year, and then by the time you're caught up, you're like, I've been playing this series for a long time. I love like every single one. They're like it never gets too repetitive because you're spacing them out, but they're long enough that everyone feels like a big meaty game. I don't know. I think I really played it the perfect way, and yeah, I can't. I mean, I can't wait for Infinite Wolf, but same with like this year had two. This one had Gaiden and Ishin.
It's weird that we're getting so many back to back.
Yeah, and even then, those were so different that I was like, okay, like Ishin, you're using swords and guns and all these different styles in a totally different environment. And so then when you go from that, which is a longer one, to Gaiden, which is shorter and in the modern day, then you're like, this is different enough that I don't feel it's different and it's shorter. So even if you feel it's too similar, it's like, oh, it's just a little bite-sized, like a dragon. I don't know. It's really, there's something special about that series, and I love it a whole lot. It's also like it's just a nice, it's nice that Sega's doing so well with it because I love Sega. Have since I was a little Sega kid.
There's
two little Sega ornaments on that you can't see of a Dreamcast and Genesis. And it's also the game. They feel like a celebration of Sega, so it's fun.
I'm not a fan of the naming conventions of these games.
Back and forth. We should have just stuck with Yakuza. It was too long.
Yeah,
it was that for too long to go. Now it's like because if I say Yakuza, I'll have people be like, "It's like a dragon." I know, and I know that's the original title. Yeah. But here, for so long, it's been a shorter, snappier title.
RGG says that the game was actually like a dragon, and they didn't. Okay,
like, I totally get that.
I get it.
But Yakuza's less syllables, quicker to say.
Mm-hmm.
One word. And also, it was that until, like, last year, or, like, the year before. Like, for every game I was playing, I was like, oh, the new Yakuza. Oh, Yakuza. So, it is tough to pivot. And also, everyone here, some people who haven't played the new ones, it is still Yakuza. And to some people, it's like I don't fucking know, dude.
There's like, if I was like a parent or something, I wouldn't buy my teenager a game that's called Yakuza.
Do you think they want that to try and be like GTA hype? Because that was when it was PS2 era. So GTA
I could see that, but it is a rated M game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking is they were like, they wanted people who see it on the shelf to go, is this GTA Japan? Which is what some people thought it was.
Like, Sleeping Dogs, man, just play that, dude. I'll play Sleeping Dogs right now. We should stop recording
and just play Sleeping Dogs
and get to the part where Emma Stone plays that character for like 2 missions.
That was really strange. That was a really strange thing.
They like marketed her as like one of like the main voice characters. And you're there. She's there for 2 missions.
It was very odd, but even then, incredible game. We're never gonna
fuck, dude. If anybody play that game today, and you'll be amazed.
It's probably for like $5, like easily. Dude, it's so old now that you can do that,
and it is so beautiful. Yeah. It's so gorgeous.
Incredible game. I had no idea what it was or interest in it, and like Will sent it to me like 7 years ago or something. He sent me a copy, and I was like, yeah, I'll try it, sure. And I just like played it straight. I was
I never stopped playing it. I played it to the end, and then the you get a bunch of stuff. It's the way that you jump on a car and like can like jump on the side. Oh, it's so good.
The movement, the fighting. I want to replay it sometime. There's too much to play.
If I do replay it, it'll be on PC where you can put some of those like mods on or up the settings to make it. I
still gotta play Alan Wake 2. I bought it. I'm excited because it's great.
Good luck.
Because Dragon Quest is coming out in 2 days. That's gonna arrive at my house, and I can't put aside Dragon Quest.
They haven't even sent review codes for that game, so
I buy every Dragon Quest physically because
me too. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be on the shelf.
I lived through that era of Dragon Quest games being like, if you didn't get it the day it came out, that was it.
Yeah.
So
we messed up because we ended up paying a little extra for some of them that I wanted.
What was your first
like
Dragon Quest game?
Tornico, The Last Hope.
That rocks. That's really interesting.
I
Mine
rented
was
it from Blockbuster.
that's even cooler. That's like a totally different genre, but you can go like, oh, I like this world. That's
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know
Yeah.
like
Does it
I
even have
knew
Dragon Quest labeling? That one?
no, it has
No,
it has
Is that
nothing.
weird?
There
Like
there is
American-made
a
cover art of the slime.
there might have been a demo included in there. I'm not sure. But I just loved dungeon crawlers at the time, like Sheeran and stuff, and I saw this and I saw that one and I was like, oh, this is fun. You like have a shop and you get to like put stuff in. I never knew it was a Dragon Quest game. Years later, I see Tornico and I think he's in 7.
4.
Is he in?
4, I think, right?
Is he on he's on the cover, right? He's like
Yeah.
yeah, he's like illustrated on the cover. It's 4, I believe. No, 7's way too good. But yeah, so I saw him and I was like I told my brother, I was like, dude, that's Tortico. That's the game we played.
No.
And then so step in because back then you didn't really have the internet, so no one fact checked you
I
on
had
like
the most false ideas about Fire Emblem in the world because all my shithead friends would be like, Marth and Roy are clones, but they're from a Japan movie, so you wouldn't know. And I was like, wow. My brother said Marth and Roy were brothers. They have no like they're just different eras of care, that kind of shit. Yeah, but
yeah.
mine was also not a mainline one, but it was more close to to it. Where mine was Monsters 2, but it was Dragon Warriors at the time.
Yeah,
Warrior,
mistakenly I used to call it Dragon Warrior for a really long time. Yeah, it got weird after a while. Like people like started correcting me or whatever, but yeah, it was Dragon Warrior for me for a long time.
Because I loved Pokemon Gold, and I was like, I still think that's one of the best games ever. And I was like, this fucking rocks.
It's a great game.
Another game where I'd collect stuff, and my aunt got me for my birthday. She was like, this is like Pokemon, I think. And it was Dragon Quest Monsters.
Wow, cool aunt. Shout out.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So Kobe's Journey. She said, oh no, it was she grabbed it because my brother was like, told her, because it had a Akira Toriyama style. He was like, Spencer loves Dragon Ball Z, and that's like Dragon Ball and Pokemon or something like that.
Perfect.
So she was like, oh, perfect. And that, like, yeah, I was obsessed with it because you can do the fusing and breeding, and you couldn't do that kind of thing in Pokemon where you like fuse them both into a new monster. Like you get a different monster out of combining them. I was like, whoa. So I was playing it like crazy, and there's a post game in like the elf world. So I played it obsessively, and it's really interesting that then later I was like, oh, there's like a whole lot of, there's like Rocket Slime, there's like all these Dragon Quest, and then I just like immediately as soon as I could find more, I never stopped. So
yeah, Monsters 2 scratched the itch that I used to like this game called Jade Cocoon on PlayStation, and it had like a Pokemon catching and fusing technique. And then I saw a commercial or something when that game was like revealed. There's some trailer out, and I was like, oh shit, like that's Jade Cocoon. Little did I know there was a sequel to Jade Cocoon that I never knew about until I was like this age, like my age now, you know. So
yeah.
The PS2 era totally skipped by me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm
because you have like a huge PS2 shop now. You're like,
well, now I do because I'm overcompensating of my poor childhood where I can only get one game a year. I remember begging my dad for Final Fantasy X too, and he's like, "What is this game? It's just a bunch of girls." Yeah,
Marvel. Dad, you don't get it. It's not just Spider-Man, X-Men, Spider-Man and X-Men and Deadpool and all these characters.
Yeah. Back then it wasn't normal to have like 5 games, resell them back to Funko Land, and then get one new game. Mm-hmm. And like that was the only way to get games back then, is to sell all the ones that you had, which sucks.
You got like 2 games a year. You might get a game for your birthday, you might get a game for Christmas.
Yeah, it sucks because I did sell a lot of games that I'm having to rebuy for way more now, and it's sad.
I remember the one thing I really liked about Dragon Quest Monsters specifically that I was like, this aspect is better than Pokemon, was they would follow you. Your 3 monsters would be behind you.
Yeah.
Picture in my head. I'd picture like I would have adventures in my head when I was like in a car or something and the batteries It's me walking with all my little monsters. I was like, oh, it's just like that. They're with me. They're my friends. So then they did that with Hard Gold and shit, and I was like, hell yeah, this.
Yeah, you're such a wholesome boy.
I just wanted little friends. Yeah, that's why I loved Pokemon. Was I was looking, I'd be like, I'd pretend that they were all like real. I'd be like, these are all my pets and monster friends.
I used to do that in 7th grade. That's probably why I got beat up a bunch. Is I had Pokemon cards, and when I had doubles, I would throw them on the floor like I would summon them, and so like my. Yeah, it was fucking lame. But thinking back on it, I was like, that's kind of cool. But I get it.
I carried around. I like dug through my parents' stuff and found like a fanny pack. I put dog food and like a Pokeball toy in it. And I was like, I'm going to catch Pokemon today.
You're fucking cool.
They were not, the Pokemon are real. So I hadn't seen it. But I remember walking around with that and being like, I'm finding Pokemon. I had little dog food. Because I was so psyched the day I got a Pokeball toy because you couldn't find that easy. So I was like, I can now.
Yeah, I was stuck using the Burger King Pokemon.
Yeah, the one that killed all those kids.
Yeah, but those Pokeballs were kind of cheapy.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that really scary ad?
I probably had. I probably did.
Where they like two like babies suffocated all with them, and they put out a really scary ad. People like parodied it, where it's like this. It's like a blank surface, and the Pokeballs on it, and the background's pitch black, and it's like shadowed, and it just says in text above like Burger King is recalling Pokeball objects due to fatality. If you have this, destroy it immediately or bring it to Burger King. And it's like the scariest commercial in the fucking world. But maybe it's really interesting
maybe
to look at.
It's a Canadian thing.
No, it's real. I swear. Well, I swear. It's like the weirdest commercial, and it's so interesting.
I'll look it up.
Every time I think of the Burger King Pokeball, I think of that really scary screen. Looks like, you know, all those like fake like anti-pirating and like game overs.
Or like do you have Methosthelioma or whatever?
Yeah, or that peanut butter one where it's like, this peanut butter has been killing people. It's like, whoa, dude. I'm just trying to watch fucking Pokemon.
Yeah, fucking. I'm just trying to be a Fox kid right now. Gargoyles is coming on.
Shit out of me, brother. This is not zany or insane-y.
The game I'm playing right now is a Metroidvania called Tevi. It comes out tomorrow.
You love a good Metroidvania.
Let me tell you, I actually don't, but I like I like this one. I like Castlevania. Do I like?
I like the Castlevania half of Metroidvania a little more.
Yeah.
Castlevania Advance Collection?
Oh, beautiful.
Shit.
Beautiful.
Metroid Fusion, good.
Castlevania.
Castlevania, you're punching people with crosses and shit. It
just has that gothic. You know, Metroid has some horror elements to it, but I think the gothicness of Castlevania really hits me. This one, on the other hand,
being raised like religiously, where you see Castlevania, you're like, oh, that's a little edgier. It's like,
yeah, it's bad boy.
It is.
I thought I liked Metroid because Samus is hot, but that's about it.
See, I remember when everyone in my school found out that Metroid was a girl, and then Samus, because Smash Bros. Came in, I was like, oh, it's not Metroid.
That's not her name.
They're like, do you know she's a girl? And I was like, she's a robot, idiot. And they're like, no, it's a girl under there. And I was like, this is strange information.
It was a good Easter egg, I guess. I don't know. It's one of those things that people would advertise now.
Yeah.
It's like if you oh man, if they have like a gay or trans character, like that's all you hear about we have trans.
How different marketing is. Like, I was thinking back to Smash Bros. Where secret characters and shit like
that.
And we're like,
let me discover something.
Let me happen again because of trailers and Smash Dojo.
Yeah, don't shove it in my face. Just let me stumble upon it. Let me enjoy it.
Yeah, it was really mystical when you were playing and you like it was like you've unlocked this character and you're like, especially with Smash Bros. Because we do the silhouette where it's like challenger approach and you were like trying to guess really quickly who it was, and then they would appear and you'd be like, I don't even fucking know who that is. This is wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's like a real sense of discovery. I guess you could that just relates to a large.
We're so spoiled now. Yeah, we're so spoiled now.
Yeah.
I always feel bad when people say that we spoil something for them, and I do read our reviews to make sure that nothing is spoiled in them. But just people are like, "Oh, that was a spoiler." In my head, it's like, "Oh, if you played the game, you would know that that wasn't a spoiler." But I guess I did ruin something for you.
It's tough though because everyone has their different limits of what's a spoiler. Like if something's in a commercial, I can't. It's not a spoiler. Like if it's in an ad.
Yeah, you know the worst is when somebody played the game, maybe it released in Japan before, and they've already played through it, and you say something, trying to allude to something, and then they're like, "Hey, that scene you showed is a spoiler," but only they know it's a spoiler because they played it. But out of context, nobody knows what's going on. Like they're like, "Oh,"
then you're like, "Oh, it's important." Okay.
And now they're like, now it's a spoiler to everyone else because they're like, wait, should I have paid attention to that? Like, dude, what was actually spoiled for?
Do you remember the pre-international simultaneous release world where Kingdom Hearts games were like 8 months apart? So Birth by Sleep would come out and you were like, blinders on GameFAQs. You're like, I don't want to see any plot shit.
Yeah, that was
time. I'm really glad that's cool.
And that's such a good game. That was such a good game.
Yeah. I don't know how I stayed spoiler-free for that game.
Oh, well, I don't know if we were writing in the industry at that point, so maybe
Even
that helped.
I was on Kingdom Hearts forums, and but we had there was like
oh yeah, you were deep in the community. Yeah,
it was like another where it was just like you can look at like Famitsu scans and stuff. But when the game's out, we all experience it together. People who are spoiled, who wanted to read the spoilers and stuff, they wouldn't be like, hey, by the way,
everybody respected everybody.
Yeah.
We don't get that anymore. There's always that one guy. He has to ruin it.
A lot of our shows are us being like, remember this.
Well, we're a nostalgic bunch. We love the good old times.
It's also a little educational for if there's any younger folks. She used to be way fucking different like 10 years ago.
I feel like this show is just me and you.
Just chatting.
Just chatting.
Being camera.
Yeah. So with Tevi, it's like, it's not Castlevania and it's not Metroid. Have you ever played Rabby Ribby or ever heard about it?
Yeah, I did play that. I reviewed that.
Oh, it's by that developer. It's their new game. And it's really good. It's really good. Sorry, my cat's being very needy right now.
I had to avoid. I almost made a Simpsons when you said it's not quite Castlevania and it's not. I was like, oh, that's Homer. When he's like, I thought you were like, it's not quite Castlevania and it's not quite Metroidvania. So the short answer is, I have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah. No, Muppet.
It's a lot of fun though. You know what sucks is that I want to give it a 10 out of 10, but I'm gonna get so much shit for giving it a 10 out of 10. I'm writing the review. The review would be up by the time this episode comes up. So if I give it a 10 out of 10, you'll see it. But I feel like I'm getting a lot of shit for it.
Sometimes you gotta wade into the film.
You know, people gave me shit for giving The Last Faith a 9.5 out of 10. Honestly, dude, like, how are people gonna tell me how much fun I had? You know, because they're like, I think this is bad. This game is not as good as Blasphemous, blah blah blah. And I was like, and I'm thinking, dude, chill out. One,
yeah.
Two.
Here's the quick resort to like paid for. You're like, no, I just thought it was cool. I
had fun.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what. If a game makes me feel like I'm not working, or makes me feel like I want to play past midnight into 3 a.m., you're gonna get a high score. That
goes from budgeting. Like most games, you're budgeting your time. You're like,
I got 3 hours. I got 3 hours to play this game. Okay, 3 hours to stop. Moving on.
You hit that time and you're like, I want to keep doing stuff.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is fuck, dude. I had a lot of fun. How do I express that? Oh, yeah, there's like issues with 1, 2, 3, but honestly, like, it's a great game. So I know I'm gonna get shit for Tevi, but I'll tell you what. If I beat the game, it's 43 hours long. But I'll tell you what, that is the best. It was the best 43 hours I've played in a while. I'm glad it's coming out like kind of late in the year. Give you something to play throughout December.
Hell yeah, that rocks.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Nice. Sounds like it's a worthwhile time.
With that, I think we're good.
Mm-hmm.
We hit our contractual 30 minutes.
Yep. The fact that you guys got 5 extra minutes is fucking Christmas miracle.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get 30 minutes. We're like, and that's the show. Bye. Because that's what we signed.
So please let us know your game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And please,
because there's still a month.
There's nothing coming out in December.
Dragon Quest has changed all. It's gonna run badly because it's on the Switch, but it's gonna rock regardless.
They should have solved that and like, but you know what? That game would not do well on PlayStation either. It's a Switch game. It's actually
make the fucking Switch
it's a 3DS game. Let's be honest. It's a 3DS game on the Switch. But the fact that
rock, but it'll run bad.
Yeah. Dude, I miss the 3DS SMT games, I'll tell you what.
3DS.
Oh, yeah.
And that division, that was good for Nintendo, I think. Being like, this is a handheld game. This is a console game. Now that they're both on there, everything feels like a handheld game.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But we good.
Anyway, let us know what your favorite game is and why, and we'll discuss it on the next episode. But thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.